We know the truth about government. It is designed to continuously expand, no matter what. It has always found a way to keep growing and spreading far and wide. It's a burden on everyone, and yet the general public asks for more and more intervention, more intrusive behavior to resolve any of life's obstacles. This is what you want. This is what you get. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today, we are going to look at one issue: government. Let's begin. This is the top 10 takeaways. It's from openthebooks.com. I will cover some of it with you today. The federal government pays its disclosed workforce $1 million per minute, $66 million per hour, $524 million per day. In fiscal year 2016, the federal government disclosed 1.97 million employees at a cash compensation cost of $136 billion. Think about this for a second. You have about 2 million employees they're willing to tell us about. They make $136 billion every single year. This is bloated. This is massive. If they want to save money, this is the place they can do it. There are way too many people making way too much money, and simply slashing this number is going to help save the general outlook. This is just one place, of course. We're having problems with, fiscal imbalances, and yet you'll see some of the salaries I'm going to show you, some of the things that they're spending money on that are absolutely ridiculous and uncalled for. But what do people do? They go to the ballot box and they say, we want the next guy in. We want this guy, we want that guy, and that's going to fix the problem. Well, time after time, we see debt and deficits getting worse. It's only going to get worse as time goes on. That's the way that things work. That's the way the entire monetary system works. You must go further into debt. Over a 6-year period, 2010-2016, the number of federal employees making $200,000 or more has increased by 165%. And then there's also 150,000 and 100,000. They're making more as well. And it shows you that the more money you make, the more money you make. Does that sound familiar at all? On average, federal employees are given 10 holidays, 13 sick days, 20 vacation days per year. Now, if they used all of that, can you believe this? It would cost taxpayers an estimated $22.6 billion a year. So, when you think about this, maybe they all don't use all of their days, but they're probably going to be using all of their vacation days and all of their federal holidays, and they're probably going to use most of their sick days. That's just the way it is. If you've ever worked in a big company before or government, you'll know how it works. So that $22.6 billion is probably very close to that. Some people even get away with taking more than those days. But just think about that. $20 billion just on that. Simply because the government is so bloated. It's so massive. In fiscal year 2016, a total of 400,000 employees made 6-figure incomes. That's roughly 1 in 5 of the disclosed federal employees. I mean, that is insane to think about that. When you look at how many people are earning 6 figures, are we talking about the president, the vice president, the secretary, and all of these high positions? No. I will show you who is making 6-figure incomes. Just a few examples, okay? At 78 out of the 122 independent agencies and departments we studied, the average employee compensation exceeded $100,000 in this report. The SEC, the average pay, $178,000. And they have 4,600 employees. This is massive. Now that's where you want to get into. You want to make money? Get into the SEC. Clearly, they make a hell of a lot of money. FDIC, okay? Where do you think all that money goes? $136,000. They have 6,400 employees. And it goes on, right? We have a lot of people making a lot of money. All right? Now, I'm not here to judge anybody on what they do, on how much they make. I'm only showing you this as an example of how money is being spent. Case study, landscaping and gardening. Total cash, $44 million. Total employees, 650. Average compensation is $67,000 and change. Gardeners, they make $51,000 on average. And for something called landscape architecture, these employees earn $91,000. That's a lot of money. I don't exactly know what they're doing, but I'm sure they're designing the different landscapes in front of these federal buildings. Sounds about right. Now look how much money they make. These individuals. Again, I don't want to necessarily point at their names. I'm just trying to show you, look, 160,000, 140, 140, and 140. These are massive salaries. I understand that maybe these are the, top individuals earning that much money. But as I've shown you in the previous part of this report, it's not as if there's, 50 employees, 100 employees, 1,000 employees making this much money. No. We are talking massive quantities of people earning six-figure salaries. And it's not just, president and vice president. It's spread everywhere. And that's what government does. Government is a virus. Government is a cancer. And it overtakes the host. And the host is you and I. To me, whenever I look at government, I understand that there are things that maybe the government should do. But I want minimal government. I don't want a new government. I just want less government. I just want a hell of a lot less government. That's the way I look at it anyway. I've studied this for a long time. I've read into it over and over again. Ultimately, whatever the government gets their hands on, they screw up. They really do. And there's so much problem. They invite problems in whenever they take on something. It's terrible. It is absolutely just a burden on you and I. It's a big subject. Perhaps for another day. That's where I stand on it. Smaller government, get out of our business, let us handle our own finances, even if that means that once in a while we get hurt. Okay, we can take it. We'll get back up on our feet, dust ourselves off, and we'll go at it again. You can't always be there with a safety net willing to, deal with every little thing that comes our way. No, we have to be responsible. That's just the way I see it. All right, so definitely check out this website here, not just for this report, but for others as well. It is openthebooks.com, and at the bottom here, you will see Mapping the Swamp. So if you live in the US, I think this will be very beneficial for you. You can see at the bottom there, it says, click here to search the 1.97 million federal employees by zip code. Check that out for the people you're interested in. I think it'll be very interesting for you. So that's all. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. Last but not least, if you found this video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. The first book is about the 4 asset classes and how to profit from it. And the newer book gets into familiar topics, but I also talk about earning income, reducing your monthly expenses, and so much more. If you're interested, links are in the description below. Take care.